Play with me. Get the... Oh my God, I got a KO from the top. Oh, what a hit! Son of a... Can you friggin' Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Mike the Ref Twitch stream here for April 3rd, 2023. I think the best way to sum up tonight was... Great to have everybody here tonight. McGee, I don't know what to say. I think you're pretty much bang on here. It looks like Vince is running creative again. Whether he's not actually doing the position, he's basically telling everybody what to do in the position. Sean Ross Sapp has reported tonight on Raw. By the way, first of all, hello everybody. Welcome. Good to see you here tonight. Welcome to the Mike the Ref Twitch stream. April 3rd, 2020. We had a Final Four going on right now. An NCAA Final Four, and we had this crap to go against it? Like, seriously, what in the blind blue was this? I don't know if I've had to use that button that much ever that I have right now. Sorry, I gotta throw this message out right now. Yeah, like, McGee, you got this bag on here. This is something I want to bring up. This is WrestleMania Night 1 seemed to be like Triple H's last stand. And honestly, I think in terms of nights of WrestleMania, that might have been one of the best ever. To see that one go off without a hitch. Pretty much, you know, the first bit of the matches started a little clunky there right off the bat. The Cena Theory match wasn't the greatest. The men's tag, it was a spot fest. A lot of people enjoyed it. And then all of us, even the Logan Rollins wasn't the best, but it got that buzz that everybody was looking for. But then just when Dom and Ray went at it, everything picked up and just carried forward. Night 2 for me, I said it before we started that I absolutely thought night 2 was going to be the worst of the two nights, and I honestly believe it was correct. We had that opening match between Lesnar and Omos. Everybody's hyped. Oh, it was a battle of giants. JR called it best when he called it bowling shoe ugly. And sometimes that's a good thing. It's not when you're trying to warm up a crowd to start. The women's tag was, you know, it got all the women in, but Ronda Rousey comes in, doesn't take a single shot the entire match, gets the armbar victory. Like, all right, you're Vince, good enough. Hell in a Cell was everything that delivered it should have been. The triple threat for the Intercontinental Championship, everything it should have been. Even... Shout out to Finn Balor, by the way, I'm throwing thoughts all over the place. I was so freaking fired up after what I saw tonight. Bah! Hey, Frosty, good to see you here, my friend. Oh, like, I haven't been this disappointed in a Raw after Mania that basically is going to sum up how we're going to feel about wrestling from this Mania weekend. After watching that BS. Like, this seems to be the official ending of the WrestleMania week. It just infuriates me. Now, I'm going to stand with something rather controversial, I think, compared to a lot of people. I actually appreciated the finish to the main event between Roman and Cody. the main event of the show. I was actually happy with the finish. And for me, it feels like a Dark Souls game. You have every power up. You have every situation covered. You think you got all the bases attached. Then you get to that boss and you're like, oh shit, I missed this. I didn't get to this. I missed out. I fucked up. I didn't get that last little bit covered. And it's that one shot that killed you. So now you got to go all the way back and build yourself all the way back up again. Which, it happens in video games. It can happen in real life too. He was within a shot. I know everybody around's like, oh, this was the perfect storyline to end all this and all that. Just freaking wait. Just freaking wait. I'll tell you tonight, right now, after watching tonight, I am actually a little pissed off about this. What I didn't like, it's the same thing in the last 5 Roman matches. I'll be honest, McG, in my opinion, that's not on Reigns for screwed up. That's for Cody not prepared to fix that problem. And that's where we're going to get to here. We're going to have to get to a situation where we're going to have somebody who takes on Reigns that is able to intercept that problem. Like I said, it's a video game situation here. You got a boss that continually has people helping him out and interfering. And you've seen it happen for the last 5 matches. Going back to the Clash of the Castle with Drew McIntyre. Like, that was the debut of Solo Sikoa. That got through that problem. You had Montreal with Sami Zayn. You had Cody here tonight. You had Owens at the Rumble. Same thing. These guys are not accounting for this. And until somebody figures out how to account for that factor in this, they're not going to get the championship. It's like when you play a video game and you think you got all your bases covered, but you forget the one last thing that he could do. Like, for example, I'll even bring it into a fighting game, and I'll bring it back a few months here. Tekken 7, we were doing the bonus round where you take on Akuma in the storyline. You beat everything perfectly. But then you got to learn the double jump to get out of the way of the demon as he sends it out to you. And every time I flipped and died off that demon. Is that on Akuma for throwing that in there at the end? No, that's on me for having to learn how to do the proper double jump to get away from that move. So as far as I'm concerned, all these fans are just new about the Cody Roman ending. I'm sorry. People just need to learn that bad guys are going to do bad things to win. And yes, it's going to get boring. It's going to get repetitive. But it's on the person going after the title to account for that BS because it's been constantly happening. It's not like it's something new. We've all said that here in the chat. This is the last 5 times it's happened. Well, somebody's got to do something about it. And until Cody figures that out and maybe deals with everybody else before that happens, like have a faction of his own helping out with this and sort of have the power to counter it. He did have Sammy and Owens there to counter out the Usos in that part of the match, but he had nobody for Solo. Until he has somebody for Solo, I'm sorry. That's where it is. You had somebody having to cover Heyman. That's where Brandy can come in, for an example. But still, just, ugh. Oh, hey, KJ. Spending 3 hours texting about how bad that was, and now I'm here to ask, where's Bayley? Bayley wasn't out for the women's match here tonight. We haven't even started going into Raw tonight. Like, oh, my goodness. My goodness. This, like, don't get me wrong. I have crapped all over Monday Night Raw since we do a Monday night stream all the time during Raw. And it's just because Raw sucks for the most part. DBS, the only thing I hated about Raw was the Rollins segment. The rest was just another episode of Raw. That's exactly where we're going here on this. Like, I I'd love to give you the rim shot here, but at the same time, you're bang on. Not mentioning Bailey was sus AF. Apparently, there is an SRS report on Fightful Select on their Patreon feed about what's going on. I might actually have to jot down $5 to go find out about that, but based on what's going on Twitter and whatnot, and the fact that Damage Control got, I don't want to say squash, but it was a very clean win tonight for Raquel and Liv there, who are getting the title shot next week. Makes me wonder what's going to happen here. Is Dana White point plots now? Like, let's throw those in there. Like, I'm sorry. I hate to, just sound so crazy here at this point, but go over this night. Like, we had so much potential going on here. You go 90 minutes with 2 matches. One of those lasting under a minute and a half. With Omos and Elias. Triple H, here's the thing that set me off right at the beginning of the show. So they announced a few hours before that they are going commercial free for the first hour. Great, beautiful, let's ride this momentum. Let's see what they're going to do. Triple H, gonna lead off the show. Great, beautiful. Triple H comes in and starts throwing his promo. The second half of the promo. Go back to the night that Vince McMahon got accused of all this crazy stuff, where he came out on SmackDown simply to say that they were going to be fighting this together forever. Go back to that promo. Go to tonight's promo. Timestamp each other, because I'm pretty sure it's like same thing. Like, to me, that was just like, I'm watching this and I'm like, okay, Triple H, you gotta do something here. You gotta give us a reason to stick around here. No, he walks out and Reigns comes out. Okay, what are they going to do? Cody comes out immediately and starts throwing the rematch clause out. They set up the tag match. Okay, fine. Lesnar comes out. Big pop. Gonna tag with Cody. I'll get to that spot here at the end in just a moment here, but So we finally get Omos and Elias as our opening matchup, which I'm sure has got all the excitement of going to the dentist for a root canal in terms of getting this crowd fired up. Wow. Today was my birthday, and I wake up and see Vince has a chia pet on his face. It just magically showed up out of nowhere here. He actually, the last couple times he's been on Raw, he's had one of those. I was looking at the Remember the Game Discord this morning, and Adam Blank brought up a great character. Vince McMahon right now looks like he's trying to develop a Snidely Whiplash character. And if you guys don't know who Snidely Whiplash is, he's that evil villain in the Bullwinkle cartoons that would strap a lady to the railroad tracks. Wow, Crowder all over it. Vince McMahon looking like he wants pictures of Spider-Man. J. Jonah freaking Jameson. Whoo, you gotta give me that's a goal horn right there. I am absolutely dying over that one. Thank you. Somebody get that Photoshop up. I'm gonna throw that. I can clip that right there. Let's just get that. Oh my. That mustache makes Vince look like everything he was accused of. Exactly. He looks like he's trying to lose 30 or 40 years here, and it just... Yeah! Oh, it just absolutely drives me here. Everything here just didn't make sense. You got Rey Mysterio coming out. And you're thinking, okay, well, we're going to have a tag match. We're going to get something. We're going to get some momentum here. No, we got a promo going on, which he did. No, he got his promo on Friday during the Hall of Fame ceremony, and now he's just doing a thank you. I get it. It's about as close to home as they're going to do for him. Then Austin Theory comes out, interrupts, they get the match to get going. And I called it. I called it on Saturday when you guys were on with me during the WWE 2K23 stream. We are going to get the Judgment Day taking on Rey Mysterio and Bad Bunny in Puerto Rico. Damian Priest and Dominic taking on Rey and Bad Bunny. That is going to be a cultural icon match down there in Puerto Rico on the first weekend of May. To me, that is just going to be epic. That might be the one piece of booking that actually makes somewhat of sense out of all this that we saw tonight. Man, I'm using that buzzer a lot tonight. I'm going to lay it down, guys, for you, just to be honest here. Normally, like, I honestly pulled these out before at the beginning of Raw. I only had 2 left because I'm going shopping tomorrow. I pulled these out. Yeah, no. But an hour in, let's go. So I am definitely, yeah, my attitude changed about this quite quickly on this. Oh, fire. Endeavor was probably, what was that? One comment, I was actually popping into the Steven Larson chat as I was going along. And here's something for you. I want to take a look what the WWE stock looks like tomorrow. Because I got a weird feeling it's going to be down about 40% from where it is right now. And Vince McMahon ain't going to give two about what the stock price is because he just got paid. So, yeah, it absolutely infuriates me. Let's skip all the way ahead. We'll get back to the women's portion of here in just a moment, but let's go right to that ending since we're talking about it right now. Vince got his payday just like Dana White years ago. Exactly. Like, let's just talk about. There you go. Coins everywhere. Coins everywhere for everyone. And that just, I'm just watching this and I'm like, what? I'm watching this main event here and watching Lesnar turn on Cody. Like, everything made sense for me on this one until the very end about, it's my time, not your time, he's saying. Brock does not get another shot at Roman. If Brock had half a brain, which I understand he's from Saskatchewan, you got to worry about the brain cells overall. That's just a thing when we're dealing with people there. But in the same consequence, if Cody gets the belt off Roman, Brock can go after the belt again. Like, am I so crazy to think this? Like, I don't know what to say here right now. This is absolutely infuriating, this ending. I know we're going to get a good match between Cody and Brock. It's not going to be SummerSlam 14 against Cena or anything like that, but none of it makes any sense right now. It's almost like they did the New Blood Rising without doing the New Blood Rising. And if you guys weren't familiar with the New Blood Rising, it was when WCW basically rebooted everything. Like, just threw everything out and we're handed all your titles. We're starting fresh. We were having tournaments for everything. And it looked like the storylines that they were doing just didn't make sense. And also, it was a Russo swerve. Well, here's another one for you. And like I said, I promise we're going to get to the women here in just a minute. But the tag team match. The men's tag team match, sorry. Why did you have to bring the Street Profits out the job clean to the new champions? Why not bring out any other team? Literally any other team. Could you tell me that Alpha Academy couldn't come out there and give us an entertaining match that the champions would go clean over them? I can understand leaving the Viking Raiders out of it because, frankly, I think the Viking Raiders should have won that match at WrestleMania to begin with because they're going to be the next real challengers to the tag titles, in my opinion. An L by Alpha Academy would make sense of bringing them apart. Let's get another coin in here. Like, stop by Saturday nights, folks. I do WWE 2KGM. I book this stuff better than they do right now. Like, it's funny because the YouTube videos I titled it, "Are You Smarter Than a Referee?" Obviously, the answer for WWE is no, 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 no. No. Oh, I wish there was some way we could explain all this. And then let's get into the women right now. Let's get into the women's match. The one women's match and the one women's promo that made no absolute freaking sense. Oh. All right. One comment in here. I'll throw Jay Quicks in here. What, you couldn't have pulled the Good Brothers out of catering to fight Owens and Zayn? I think they're trying to save them for the group. Like for AJ and the Good Brothers to come out at the same time. But really, what are you going to do right now? Just, the Good Brothers are around. Everybody knows they're around. Use them. I'm sure you get a hell of a good match out of them. Because Machine Gun Anderson, like, seriously, he would work his ass off for those two guys. And Gallows, well, you wouldn't have to do much for it, but you'd still get it going well. All right, so let's get into this Women's Championship contenders match. There's so many things to break down here. Let's start with why we had this match in the first place. And why we didn't have two others. There was originally scheduled, apparently, 2 triple threat matches. The winners were going to face each other. The winner was going to face Bianca for the Raw Women's Championship. Now, that was changed at the last moment, apparently. That was another... We're gonna hang this up here. And we're going to put a title contenders match here for the women's tag titles. Fair enough. Maybe there was an injury or something, or I assume that they weren't going to like the story that was coming out. Triple H has had a tendency to be able to just throw matches together, let the talent show what they're going to do, and then deal with the consequences after. Like, you can pick your winner. Hell, these guys have things in their ears, the referees. They can tell somebody else if they're changing the finish, if there's somebody getting over or something they like what they see. But no, let's scrap that. Let's get a title contenders match going on, which I'm glad they got a women's match tonight. But the fact that Damage Control lost, and I would have, it's not just that they lost. You know, I'm glad that they're getting some fresh blood to take on some old blood there in Lita, and then some good blood in Becky Lynch, which. But the fact they lost so clean. They lost rather uneventfully. And no mention of Bayley on commentary. Like none. Zero. Zilch. And with the social media posts that Bayley was putting out earlier today that things are at the end of an era and just describing how everything's changing for her. And the fact that she's been very public about being out at other promotions, which I know Vince absolutely detests seeing that happen with other people. Like, if you're not in WWE, the other wrestling does not exist. I honestly think Bayley's on her way out. I think she's seen what Mercedes can do on the indies. And I think Bayley is very undervalued in the WWE by the higher-ups, not known as Paul Levesque. And I think Bayley could absolutely... Could you imagine Bayley being the 4th person to show up on AEW TV in a couple months? To help the Outcasts here. And she's got a legit beef. as far as I'm concerned, we could see her throw it on the other side too, just for the hell of it. And then there's all this dissension of, oh, well, what side is she really on? Hell, she could go to New Japan right now. The only outcome I accept is Bayley in Japan. You know, we could see it. Could you imagine getting that rematch that everybody wants? Davina Rose versus Mercedes Moné in New Japan for the IWGP Women's Championship. The reenactment of NXT 2015, the match that set so many women into the inspiration to get into freaking wrestling. You look at this generation's wrestlers, and so many of them mention that NXT match in Brooklyn as their inspiration for starting. Could you imagine those two getting a chance for a rematch with this much experience that they've had now, going into another promotion where the promotion literally says, go nuts, make us money? Cool. Yeah, much like Sasha Banks, I don't see Bayley go to AEW, sees how every woman comes in hot and completely cools off. Exactly, I like that. I can understand that completely. I would love to see, of course, I'd love to see AEW change their focus when it comes to the women, but let's not even worry about that right now because, well, frankly, it's a situation now where the women are just not. Women's wrestling is not being treated right on the two major promotions in North America. Let's just call a spade right there. And I'm going to call that shot early right now when it comes to WWE now, because if Vince is back, I'd love to see where AEW use Rampage strictly for the. I'd love to see them just get an hour period. I don't care where it is. An hour on Dynamite, an hour on Rampage, an extra hour somewhere else. Like hell, we got AEW All Access for a reason. People like AEW. Tonight's episode of Monday After Mania is a free advertisement for AEW Wrestling coming up this Wednesday. At least WWE gives them the time to make match of the night moment. When they give them a match. You just want to see Bayley versus everyone? Yeah, like, I just want to see, I want to see these people not have the restrictors on the way that a certain promoter does right now. And I really don't want to bring his name up because his name's been coming up too often. And I don't want to even think about this mustache gentleman. Tony Khan's not much better. I will say that. But the one thing I will say is he does have the potential of giving the wrestlers the opportunity to give their matches. Now he just has to work that with the women. And it's not going to be the easiest thing in the world, but nothing ever is, really. I wish there was some magic wand or something we could just literally turn around and make it work, but someone explain to me why Asuka lost, and I'm going to say this, and I'll bring this back to Mania as well. 2 points about that match. Number one, I personally feel that Bianca was very, very clunky in that match compared to what she normally is when she was taking on Asuka. I know that when people face Asuka, it's a different type of wrestling when it comes to facing somebody like an Asuka with the way her offense is. She wrestles differently than a lot of girls, but there is no reason why that couldn't have been a lot smoother sailing. But here's the other thing that really pissed me off. I actually, after I was done Mania Night 2, I was trying to decompose. I was trolling everybody that was upset about the finish. Cody should have won, blah, blah, blah. I was going nuts on Twitter last night if you didn't see it. But I was watching the press conference that they had with Bianca with Roman and with Triple H. Bianca was answering the questions that the media had. They threw her music up to kick her out, just like the Oscars. She took the time to actually try to put Asuka over, and basically they never had it. I have to head out, need to stretch my knee, and then go to bed. Thank you. Oh, definitely. We could, we'll have to arrange a night to get a little bit of MLB The Show in here. We're going to start doing a little bit more of that as we go along here, so. Thanks for stopping by, Merc. I do appreciate it here. But think about it. Like, just going back to that point about Bianca here. Bianca's trying to get Asuka over, trying to thank Asuka for all this, and no, you can get going. We got to get the next interview up. Which Roman didn't really look like he wanted to be there either, because he'd just been in a 35-minute main event with Cody. Now that was amazing how they trolled CM Punk during the WWF Night 2, or the WWE Night 2 press conference. Nick Hausman, the guy that started asking questions to Punk that set him off, asked Roman about the sale to Endeavor as the last question that Reigns was going to answer. And both Heyman and Reigns basically popped off on him. And very happy to see it, and very happy that's set up that way. That was pretty damn awesome. If you haven't seen the clip online, I'm sure a lot of reporters haven't. Or I know Denise Salcedo had a good time. Dr. Wario, good to see you here tonight, my friend. See, the group of us that are in here right now, I bet you we could have picked up and built a non-storyline Raw that would have been a hell of a lot better than this. One of the things I saw tonight, it was just like, I actually tweeted it out halfway through the show that there's a reason why I gave up on Raw and started doing an AEW Dynamite sidecast. And that was simply because if you got to around the 7:30 mark, or 7:30 Mountain, which would have been 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 time in Pacific time. There we go. That's the one. By the time we reached that point, AEW would have been through 6 matches, and WWE was just starting their 3rd. That was right where I do believe they were getting their 3rd match in at the hour and a half. That was where the tag match was starting to fit in. But you want to talk about segments that drive me nuts. Here, let's go with the ultimate one here. Do you guys remember a couple years ago at Mania? I think it was 2 years ago at Mania, the first year they had fans back. Do you remember there was a spot there? Hey, JJ. Good to see you here tonight. Do you guys remember the spot where they brought out Shinsuke Nakamura after the first match, just so the fans could sing his entrance music? He could play some little air guitar out there and then right back out and gone. They did it again tonight through a commercial break with Seth Rollins. Like, seriously, was that? Seriously, what the was that? Like, I can understand going into the commercial break and then having him disappear or whatever. Okay, you know what? It's not the best, but fine. Have them do it the entire commercial break and then have Rollins just walk to the back. Like, are you just trying to stall for time here? At least bring out a 2 guys from catering that could put on a match just to... We're not doing matches that make sense anyway tonight, so why not just throw a random match out there? Which we ended up getting with... that segment in particular needed a debut or something. Yeah, it needed anything. Like, not just something, it's just anything. I barely remember Pandemic AEW, let alone anything Raw. Yeah, fair enough. But this brought me back memories of pandemic Thunderdome Raw tonight. 3 hours is too long, and it says it's Eric Bischoff's fault. Fair enough. I could see you saying that. Eric bringing out the 3 hours that, you know what? If they're going to provide the money, there's so many different ways to do it, but that's another day for another. That's another discussion we could have another night here. And what frustrates me so much about this is I get on here, and like I said, tonight I would normally be streaming some fighting games, and I still have the game loaded. It's ready to go. Like, I'll show you right here. I got the game's loaded up, ready to go. I don't know if I'm going to get to it tonight because I'm just so fired up. We have so many fans that are passionate about Raw. So many fans that want WWE to succeed, that have seen WWE succeed, have looked forward to the last year or last 6 months of WWE programming since SummerSlam, where Triple H has been in charge. People have relatively enjoyed his work. Has he been perfect? Hell no. There has been a lot of faults in there. But at the same time, we'll take those faults for all the pluses he's given us. Because he took that program from when it was in the absolute dumps, from an amnesiac old man that couldn't remember that he had the same match last week. So he had repeat matches this week, just like I did on WWE 2K, and somehow I got the worst score on the second match. Go figure. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, check out the VOD from last Saturday. There's my plug right there. I'm spitting up my freaking. We've been looking for such good product for so long, and it almost, when Triple H is coming out, if you want, and I don't recommend anybody watching this Raw again, just for the fact that it pains me to even feel about it. Go back and watch the Triple H entrance. Because as much as he's putting on a brave face, you could almost see it in his eyes that he's about to, like, it's like he lost a kid or something out there. Lost a puppy. Maybe go with that. Maybe he lost a puppy out there that he's trying to keep it together. But he knows that there is something terrible coming. That look on his face looked somewhat eerily familiar to that story that he told about the little girl, the contortionist during Bianca's entrance for night 2 of Wrestlemania. If you guys and girls aren't familiar, for Bianca's entrance, they had a little dance troupe out there doing a performance. The girl at the end with the contortionist who basically had her legs over her head and was waving to the crowd. Earlier that day, she found out her mom passed away. Her mom was dead. It was the worst day of her life. And yet she wanted to be there with her teammates, and WWE provided a platform where everybody absolutely loved what she was doing out there, and they gave her that rush of adrenaline to feel good. Yeah, the Divas of Compton, yeah. Thank you, JJ, for reminding me of the exact name here, but yeah. It was a month before. You know what? Still. You know what? Her mom just passed away. Either way, we'll go with that. You haven't seen that? Based on what Crowder is saying, maybe a lot of the video has been taken down of it, but it happened. He announced it during the press conference. So, you know what? Even if he was misinformed and the information wasn't perfect, her mom just recently died either way. But the point I was getting back to this is that look on his face based on what he saw there versus what that face that he saw tonight before he got into the game mode in the ring where he could do that promo out, it almost looked identical. It looked like he was losing his kid at this point. It very well could be here right now. I don't know if it's the fear of the unknown. It's the fear of the known that's the problem here, Dr. Wario. We've had Vince running everything. And the owner of this new Endeavor group said verbatim, Vince was thinking about walking away. He did not want to have anything to do with that. He wanted Vince back. So to which the internet and everybody that is involved in wrestling right now was, why are you doing this? Like, seriously, that was like the biggest... Let's also give my voice a break for 3 seconds here. That was one of the biggest fails that we've seen on the internet in a very long while. Because with everything that Vince has done, he has shown to be a true Cardi and a true victim of the Cardi life. And it would have been nice to just see him go away. Triple H was doing fine without him. The entire setup, Nick Khan was doing fine without him. The only difference between Vince McMahon now and then is the fact that he's got one of his buddies that he has to listen to, so he can't do anything overly stupid like that. Like, there was this CNBC interview that was done earlier today where Vince was approached and asked about his mistakes, and he's like, yeah, I made mistakes. But now we're going to focus on the business now. I'm sorry, Vince. You don't get to go back like that. The only thing I've been saying all day, watch WWE once a year and you won't be emotionally invested. JJ, I have to disagree with that statement. I seriously have to disagree with that statement. I watched Raw tonight, and I am more emotional about WWE right now than I am for skipping out on Raw for months on end. Because I know how good Raw can be. I know how good WWE can be. And then watching this BS just makes me understand what was I thinking? Why did I want to watch this? Like, I ended up staying for the end because I wanted to see if anything decent would have came out of it. And honestly, I get a Brock beatdown, but it's sort of like, huh? When you're getting a beatdown from somebody who does not have a chance to get the championship, and yet you don't have a chance for the championship either, like, to me, that just screams there is no point of this fight right now. Both these guys are looking for gold, but neither one of them can go get it. So unless they're going to change the stipulation around, they're not going to be able to fix any of that up. So I don't know what the hell they're trying to think here. It screams that Roman is taking Backlash off. I hate to, like, as much as I like that, I like to, I got to give you that too. Was on everything pro wrestling sidecast, and a point was brought up. Fire it off, JJ. Feel free to let me know what it is. But the fact that, Roman might still be going to Puerto Rico, but I could almost see that the main focus at Puerto Rico might actually be the Usos against Owens and Zayn, where Owens and Zayn retain their championships while Roman doesn't come out to help the Usos the way the Usos come out and help Roman. So we don't know where Vince's health or mental state is at this point. And that's the biggest wild card right now. But he's proven that his mental state is absolutely... His mental state cannot be sustained wherever it is, because we've seen it. We've seen the role that he's been doing. But the problem is, when you own something, you can't be taken away. Feel that shortly after the sale is complete, he will dip. I'd love to say that, but I'm also going to bring it back to your promoter here, Crowder. And hell, I'll go with the other local promoter for the other member of the Dab On Squad, Rick Jules. Both those promoters here locally, I got a feeling they're going to pass away as promoters. I think Vince is going to be the same way. He is going to be in that chair until he decides. Well, not that he decides, but until he actually passes away. I think Vince actually dies at a show. I hate to be that dark, but my prediction is he will pass away at a show. He'll have a heart attack at one of the shows, and that'll be it. As depressing as that sounds, he had the opportunity to get out. I think it would be smart for him to, and I hope I'm wrong. I completely hope I'm wrong. I hope he gets a chance to enjoy his retirement as far away from wrestling as possible. Watch it on a TV, but true, but Vince isn't the man anymore when the sale's complete. We may have seen WWE where there's someone above it. The only person above Vince is the person that insisted that he wanted Vince back as part of this. Like this Ariel, whoever that runs Endeavor, he has said point blank he wants Vince as a part of this. So when the person above you wants you there and there's nobody else below you, like Nick Khan is now below Vince McMahon on the totem pole. Like it goes Ariel, the owner of Endeavor, then it goes Dana and Vince, and then it goes Nick Khan and I forget all the names here. I agree, but I don't know if he would enjoy his retirement. He wants to be there more, saying the butter up while the sale's still going through, though. I got a feeling that his dad worked pretty much until the end, so. Yeah, but I don't give that interview a lot of credence. It was clear that it was just something to... Okay. I understand that, but I've actually looked at the corporate structure and it still makes sense. I hope that it's all BS and the fact that Vince gets tossed out of there as soon as the sale goes through. Thanks for your time, but we wish you nothing but the best in your future endeavor. Not with Endeavor. Yes, I know that joke has been used way too many times this week, but what the hell? Let's go one more. But it's really frustrating. Like I said, it's just plain old frustrating here to see what a great company has been able to do over the last 6 months to build up such credibility in their fans, in their sponsors, in the different venues that they get to go to now. And outside of brand recognition now, I don't know if there's that confidence anymore. You can ruin that amount of confidence all in one night. And I think this might be the night to do it. There is such a backlash right now, no pun intended, about what's going on with this Raw after Mania, that most of this does not make sense. And it shows the ramblings of an incoherent old man that I don't know how much it's going to recover. Baseball's starting right now, so there's lots of time for there's lots of games going on, so people have an opportunity to see that. The sun is getting brighter out later, so people aren't going to be around their TVs as much. Like, don't get me wrong, there's going to be your diehards that are going to watch no matter what. And full kudos to those people. I do not envy you right now. But I feel that this reminds me a lot. Humor me here. If you're not a Simpsons fan, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to deal with it here. I'm going to go back to the Simpsons episode where you had Mr. Burns going for the election of mayor of Springfield, and you had that three-eyed fish. This to me feels like a lot of it was Vince putting that piece of fish in his mouth and spitting it out. As soon as it hit the ground was pretty much halfway through this show here, and everybody just headed over the NCAA game tonight. I'm really interested to see what the viewership numbers was tonight. But a lot of the backlash is from noted AEW partisans and how much of it is in good faith. Like when AEW hasn't done the WWE part. True, you always have to consider your source there, but at the same time, you look at everything that's going on tonight. Like, I know that I enjoy AEW more than I enjoy WWF, but I want both of them to succeed. I still feel WWF. Sorry, that it's just a normal thing for me as I say it, but I want to see both of them succeed. I want there to be 5 nights a week of consistent good wrestling across the board for anybody that enjoys it. I don't necessarily need to like the style, but I don't need to feel that watching a show like this was 3 hours wasted. And honestly, for what came up tonight, after the Mania that they had, especially on night one, I feel they wasted a golden opportunity here to push things forward. Like, the only return they had tonight was, don't get me wrong, Riddle got a decent pop, which I really don't know if it was a real pop or not, because it seems like they were pushing audio in from the crowd filler system that they used the night before. And if you don't believe me that they used the crowd filler system, go back and watch Rollins' entrance against Logan Paul, because the audio was added and then slowly taken away as the crowd was starting to go. So I don't know if it disappeared or it just the audio balance is horrible from the guys in the back, but I don't know. Like I said, I totally don't feel like I'm really worried for WWE right now. That's the best way to put it. I'm just worried for them. I don't know if I'm going to go back and watch any future Raws live anymore, at least for a while. Might have to watch like the Go Home to SummerSlam or something, but if this is all it's going to be week after week, like this show here should be the setup for the next year when it comes to WWE action, right? Between here and Friday. I called it on Marks with Mikes with Paul that going to have his drink in Mania. Yeah. Yeah. I actually had to switch to a few bevies myself too. I haven't had any in about an hour, so I've cleared my head a fair bit here. So I am truly, like you guys saw at the start of the show, I am completely fired up about this because there are so many good wrestlers there. And there's so many people that want to be a WWE superstar. I know a lot of them locally that you tell them there's lots of opportunities. No, they want WWE. That's their end goal. That's the goal that they want. They don't want Impact. They don't want AEW. They don't want New Japan. They want... But we have to remember that Raw isn't really the A show anymore, even if it's the big 3-hour show. Fair enough. SmackDown's going to have to do something to bail the ass out of Raw here tonight. Yes, I did buzz that one out, but SmackDown's going to have to do a lot tonight to prove that this was just an anomaly tonight. But tonight, this night usually means so much. And to turn out, like, I wouldn't even just say bad. It was a colossal flop. Like, this is like Omos trying to do a shooting star press kind of flop. Which, if he pulls off a shooting star press, I will put... Charlotte put Rhea over in the ring, and that doesn't happen. She respects her. Yeah, that was a decent point. And after it, at the end of the match, she knew that Rhea and Charlotte knew that they had a point to make. Because everybody was talking about how the tag team match ended up getting the main event spot because it had the best built storyline and the women didn't. Let's just straight up and put it. That build up for that Charlotte Rhea match was just... When was the last big WrestleMania Raw? The last few haven't really moved the needle. Last year, the only thing I know was Ezekiel. I think pre-pandemic is what you're going to look at here, or else I don't know if you want to judge the pandemic ones. The pandemic Raw after Mania, because you really can't tell what the big crowd is about it, right? Or the debuts, or bring it up. That women's tag match was horrible. Yeah, like during Mania, that's what we were talking about here. Like that match and a few others, they were just... Night 2 was not night 1. Let's put it that way for sure. Mr. Vic, how the hell are you doing tonight? You guys are going to have so much to talk about on Wednesday. If you want to do yourself a favor, feel free to use any footage from my show tonight, because I've just been sitting here. I was supposed to get into KOF 15. Like I mentioned here, I do have this. But my God, we've just been sitting here for over an hour. Well, it's probably about 55 minutes right now, just talking about how infuriating this night went for Monday Night Raw, and how the last 2 nights have been an absolute dud, and all the alarm bells are going off right now. Personally, I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well. I hope everything's going well for you. I'm doing okay, just for the fact that, life is... The one thing I can say is a big positive here is the fact that there is so much other wrestling to watch. Like, hell, you got just in Alberta here, you got 3 different promotions you can watch online rather easily if you don't mind typing in a few words and whatnot. You got Impact you can watch. You got AEW, which you can watch with me on Wednesday. Oh, you're still out here in San Francisco. Okay. So, did you get a chance to watch Raw tonight? That's the question I have for you, Mr. Vic. Because if you haven't, oh my God, this is going to be one of those nights for you, sir. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'll be straight up here. I'm probably going to wrap up the stream here pretty quick. I don't think we're going to get into the game tonight just because it's already 10 o'clock. I've had a long work week, and I am so goddamn fired up about this because there are so many warning signs about how rough the next year is going to be for WWE. Now that it's under the Endeavor window and it looks like Vince might be back. Who knows? This could be a blip. Everybody sees the response and all of a sudden turns around on a dime. I highly doubt it. When is Clandestine Society coming back? Not trying to get me off. Clandestine Society actually works with Love Pro Wrestling right now, so feel free to check out Love Wrestling CA on Twitch. They run their shows every month. The actual Clandestine Society shows, they actually had a crossover one with Love last Thursday. But most of the time, they're just a training academy. We aren't having any of those special shows as of right now. Things could always change, but I haven't heard anything, so I just leave it at that. But yeah, I like those shows. I really did. And I think that, to be honest, if you guys haven't seen it, I'm going to throw a plug out here right now for our wrestling YouTube channel. Check it out. What JJ's referring to as the Clandestine Society. It's one of the playlists on that channel. Make sure you give us a subscribe, both to our YouTube and to our gaming YouTube channel. The gaming one, we're just going like crazy right now. Like, I think this is like 24 days in a row that we've gotten subs out of it. Subs are free, by the way. And we're really trying to push to get to that 1,000 because the watch hours that we're getting are absolutely nuts here. So hopefully things add up there. But speaking of adding up, I think I'm going to subtract myself from the stream right away here. And we're going to wrap this up here pretty quick here because, well, frankly, my voice is going too. So next stream I'm going to do is tomorrow. I'm probably going to go afternoon. I'm going to try and start as early as I can. I do have some errands to run tomorrow morning, whenever I get up. And then we're going to get into MLB The Show, but we're going to be doing the Negro Leagues. We're going to do those live here on Twitch, and let's learn a little bit about the culture of baseball and some of the real stars of the early times of MLB. Plus, I want to get those cards. Because our league season starts next Tuesday, actually. So, it was good catching up with you too, JJ. We are going to be here on Wednesday as normal with the AEW Dynamite Slidecast. It is going to be a hell of a night. Tony Khan's promising another big announcement. After tonight, Tony Khan could pretty much announce anything. And it might be a bonus compared to anything else we'll see with what happened here on Raw. It might be, like, it literally could be, we have our own brand of pencils. And it would still probably get over more than what we saw here tonight on Raw, in my opinion. So, don't quote me on the fact that it'll be a box of a brand of pencils, because we know that ain't going to happen here. But...